Alright, procedural material to procedural texture. Alright, so here's how it goes. Right here, this Lambert, this one right here, gives me this result. A very mild bump. Okay? Now, it's good for Maya, but I can't really do anything with it outside of Maya. It lives here in Maya, and that's about it. I can render it out in Mental Ray and say, "Ooh, that looks like a cool orange. Big deal." Okay, here's the other one, which is a texture. So I took this and turned it into this, and this is how you do it. Okay, so to start off, you need a big globe, and in that globe you can put your sphere that has a material, and the material can be made of anything, not just a procedural bump orange, but you can make a complex material that has 28 different nodes on it and it'd still do the same thing. And then you put a bunch of directional lights in here. So these directional lights are at 0.25 and are pointing in every direction. Okay, minus pointing this way and this way, so all X, Y, Z directions. Okay, now I already had a video on how to make a procedural very low residual bump on something, and this is just taking it a little bit further and saying, because I seen a message out there that says, "Oh, you should have painted it." Well, why paint it when you can actually bake it out, right? So here is something that we got to turn on. We have to make sure that the quality is at 100% under Mental Ray. So there's Mental Ray, quality production, and it needs to have final gathering on. Alright, next. So place your whatever you're going to bake out here. And what's nice about this material is, you're like, wow, rendering a ball. That's just, this material is actually procedural. So, I could put it and apply it to anything. Let's say I take this cone and apply this material to it. Okay, voila, the same. And it wraps up real nicely around each direction of it. So that's what's procedural about it. Okay, but another thing is I took and made a lot more resolution on this ball. So what I did, I went over here to the first tab here in the channel box. I went to Polysphere and I made sure it's at 50/50. Okay. Alright, so when you get all that done, you could batch bake Mental Ray with the following options. You have to highlight the orange and make sure everything is here. Notice that there's some stuff missing here. Maya2011 loves to do this. I have to go back into it and then voila, it appears. Don't ask me. So light and color. I'm going to call it orange. 2048-2048. Number of samples 4. Bake to 1 map. Final gathering quality, you could turn this up if you wanted to. It's just going to cause you more time. UV range is 0 to 1, and that's it. What I would suggest, however, is making a new project. Go project set. And in my case, I made a folder on my desktop called orange, and I set, and then I saved that in this folder. So save scene as, and I called it orange. Reason for that is if you don't do it, it'll throw those maps into some directory on your hard drive, and you'll have to tile for a while just to get to them. So you hit convert, and voila, there it goes. And trust me, it takes about 30 to 40 minutes. So that's why I did it ahead of time, so I don't have to show it to you again. Now here, I have this thing where I have a texture somewhere on my hard drive. And if I go here on my hard drive and look for that texture, it is located under my desktop, orange, render data, Mental Ray, light map, and there's orange TIFF. So this is the map it creates after you hit convert. And you're like, whoa, that's really cool because it's very procedural. It covers the whole thing. It's tileable, and you look real close. It's got some pretty good resolution. Now, if I wanted to, what I want to do is image hue desaturate and saturation level all the way, and save this as bump. Because when you go back to Maya, and let's say you apply this texture to this orange, the texture one, really, oranges have some kind of spectral to them. Okay, so here, I can switch this Lambert out to be a blend, but then it's going to be real shiny in one area. So that doesn't look right. It looks like a ball with just like somebody lacquered it. So that's where you take your bump mapping and plug that in. So file, it's going to ask you what the file is. And the file is that bump map. So under render data, mental array, light map, bump. There we go. And it's super bumpy. If you double click here, you get a real-time preview of what that texture is. And under blend, I would say the eccentricity needs to come down just a little bit on that. And the spectral roll off just a little bit. And the reflectivity down quite a bit. There we go. There's orange, and that's a texture instead of a material. Enjoy the video.